Ready? So I just got done, well, we actually just got done camping at Grand Canyon. And we're heading east on, no, we're heading south on 64 to get on I-40 to move on to our next stop. But I was listening to, and I noticed that a lot of YouTube, and I used to do this all the time, I would play YouTube videos and listen to them while I was driving just to get the information. And I think a lot of people are doing that now, and they're treating these YouTube channels and these YouTube videos as podcasts. But I'm actually working on an RSS feed to get my videos on a podcast platform. So keep an eye out for that. But I was doing that and listening to Economic Prepper, and he just put up a video with some information about Walmart stock prices dropping. And it got me thinking, because I did a video earlier, a few weeks ago. You guys may have remembered it. I didn't have a shirt on, and y'all lit me up in the comments for that. I don't know why. It was hot. I was by the pool. I decided to make a video, and y'all hit me up because you saw my neck, my neck bone, clavicle, tops to shoulders. I don't know what it was, but either way, the point of the video wasn't about my bare naked shoulders. It was about Target and other companies and retailers making changes about their return policies, and ultimately not having the workforce, the labor, nor the profit margin in these products to accept returns. They were just going to start letting people keep some things, some products, instead of returning them because it was cheaper to keep her. Remember, anyway, not her, the product, the companies. The pandemic forced many companies to realize more costs that they weren't already expecting when they started doing business. Truck drivers, new truck drivers as well, have experienced that as well. They got into an industry that they weren't familiar with, and they were experiencing some heartburn in some areas that they weren't expecting. So with that being said, if you're thinking about jumping into a business, starting a new business, side hustle, new industry, anything like that, if you're thinking about doing anything that requires any preparation whatsoever, any investment, time, money, you need to double whatever you think it's going to cost you to do whatever it is you're going to do. Double it, because it ain't gonna end up working out just perfect. Case in point, in any business that opened prior to the pandemic, maybe was even fortunate enough to be essential or deemed essential during the pandemic, saw added costs in covering employees' expenses as they were allowed time off, by the government, and added safety measures, PP&E, plexiglass partitions, all sorts of stuff that they weren't planning on when they built out the business plan. So whatever you're planning on doing, double it. Side note, I want you to look at this guy in front of me. All right, so we're on 64, speed limit 65. We're in a passing zone. Well, we're about to get out of it now. But if you know you aren't moving at the rate of speed in which traffic is flowing, move over to the right and, give the people behind you this is road etiquette. This is driver courtesy. Move over to the right. Give them more space to pass you. For them, let them know that you want to be passed, but for you, just distance yourself from somebody possibly clipping you when they go by. But anyway, so these businesses, they're going to make changes, all right? So the main thing is the fact, I don't know why you would want to run it close to the line anyway. This is so stupid. You got all this lane and you want to be this close to oncoming traffic. Like, maybe he's just got a death wish. I don't know. But so businesses are making drastic changes. They're changing operations. I told you about this. The hotels that we checked into, and Economic Prep touched on that in his video. The hotels that we checked into in Las Vegas had the ability to check in through a self-service kiosk. And ultimately, the self-service kiosk eliminated a human being's job. It eliminated payroll. Now, for an employer, if you can replace a person with $100,000 salary, this would make it a round number, $100,000, you're in Vegas, it's not unheard of. So if you got a high-level, management-level employee, and you can replace them with a kiosk, that kiosk probably cost you $20,000. And now you got you're up 80, but you're up more than that, because that kiosk isn't going to cause you to lose money when human beings can through error. Now, What I have also noticed is that, businesses are shifting where they can. So in this case, these hotels, they found ways to automate a process. And in another video I posted, I showed you where we ate lunch, and we ordered our food and robots served us our food, automated the process. But without even automation, I've noticed that some businesses have added workload onto the physical employee. For example, we've been to restaurants, a few. I don't remember exactly which one it was here recently because we've been traveling and going so many different places. But by doing that, it allows us a greater opportunity to see what's going on around the country and bring it to you guys so you can be aware of what is probably going to be coming to you soon wherever you are. And restaurants have now started multitasking employees with being a host. That's where it was. It was World of Beer. I think it was World of Beer. And the host ends up being your server. And then in certain instances, maybe the server will also be your food runner. So now you don't need a host. Now you don't need a separate server and a separate food runner, because you're going to make one person do the job of three and cut down, your overhead and employee expenses.
Still only pay them $2.13 an hour.
And also still only keep them at $2.13 an hour, depending on what state you're in. Washington, we realized they had a higher minimum wage for servers, but that in turn changes the quality of server and service that you may or may not receive. But we went to Cracker Barrel in Arizona. I think it was in Arizona.
Yes.
We went to Cracker Barrel, and it used to be that Cracker Barrel would have a certain employee cleaning up the tables after the last party was done. I saw somebody cleaning up, and I did not expect him to then put the broom down, turn around, and take our order. And he did, which I'm glad he did, because he was a really cool guy, and he did a really great job. And I'm glad that he had a great attitude about what he was doing, and he just looked genuinely happy to be at work and help people and serve them. But with that being said, Cracker Barrel could cut down drastically on their employees for the fact that, hey, now we can get you to clean up. And then also our server had an iPad that he was able to, his POS system, he was able to put our order in right there at the table. Done deal. Go straight to the kitchen. So he can clean up, take an order, go back to cleaning up. And then when we got done, he handed us the check. Check had a QR code on it. You can check out while you're sitting there with the QR code. So eventually, Cracker Barrel could pretty much do away with half their staff, maybe even more, by going this route. And businesses have to make changes to survive. Now, some businesses are out there killing it, record profits, and a little bit of greed, okay? Some, not so much. But at the end of the day, they have a choice they have to make. They can raise the prices so high to counter extra expenses, to counter restocking fees, to counter discounts in open box items, or they could do away with returns, just tell you to keep it. But they have to recoup that cost somewhere. So they raise the price of future products because they have to absorb the calculated loss of not issuing a return without actually receiving the product back. So they could just drive the price up.
You have to think of how many people are going to take advantage of that and be like, oh, well, I want to return this knowing I get to keep it, but I also get my money back.
Right. So they can't really do that, because if they keep doing it, then it becomes too expensive for anyone to buy. So honestly, it really boils down to just like an old, proven business, successful business methodology, mindset that you need to pay your employees enough to buy your products. You need, and even if it's not paying them more, give them the hours so that they can get the 40 hours a week to be able to afford to buy the products. Because right now, these businesses, sure, they're bringing in record profits. They're finding more and more ways to eliminate the employees and cut back on their employee overhead expenses, but they're going to back themselves into a corner where then no one is capable of buying the product. And then then we'll really see a collapse. You know, Jerome Powell and the Fed, they think they're really doing something with these interest rates, but once these businesses realize that, you know, they've pretty much profited themselves out of business, that's when we're going to see a step back and, you know, a return to a reality and realization that, hey, we probably need to keep America working. We probably need to, you know, find ways to influence our workforce to want to come to work, to be able to sell these products at a reasonable profit margin and continue on growing. Otherwise, they're gonna fail eventually. They're gonna fail eventually. It's bound to happen, you know. And you know, Walmart shares are down overnight, you know, and you know, the shareholders, the investors, they're gonna lose their faith in the company, and ultimately, you know, the consumers are going to do it as well, and they're going to find other ways to get what they need at lower prices. And you know, I don't think Walmart has the greatest reputation with the prepper community as far as, you know, them already moving so many registers to self-checkout and just doing all sorts of things that, you know, is basically putting people out of work. And the more people you put out of work, the more dangerous the situation is going to become. And I don't know if these companies realize it. I don't know if they realize it, or, you know, but what I do realize is that in Economic Prepper's video, he mentioned something very, very shocking and very interesting, is that he noticed gas was $3.69 a gallon at a Quick Trip near him, which, as we near towards the end of summer and move back into, you know, schools starting back up and vacation travel kind of dying down, the fuel prices are coming down.
And new elections are coming up. Anytime there's some sort of election coming up, fuel prices generally move also.
So we got preparing for survival. By the way, hey, I'm preparing for survival's husband here, and she's giving some commentary here. She's behind the camera because I had to get this out while it was fresh in my mind. And, you know, yeah, what it was, and this has always happened this way. You got a bunch of high-paid suits, politicians, lawmakers out there creating solutions. It sounds like a great thing, right? Solutions. They sit in their offices and their giant buildings in D.C., which if you've never been to D.C., go check it out because those buildings are ridiculously huge. And their vacation homes all around the world. And they create solutions. And you think, man, that sounds like a great idea, solutions. No, they create solutions. And then they're like, all right, now we need to make a problem so that we can provide the solution. That's all it is. It's like, let's, you know, somebody was like, hey, let's lower gas prices. And somebody was like, well, everybody's cool with the way gas prices are now, so why don't we raise gas prices and then lower them?
Back to what?
Genius!
Yes.
That's what's going on. That's what's going on. Why? Because it won't make the news much anymore. You know, you raise gas prices before, you know, summer vacation, summer travel, it makes the news. Everybody gets all up in arms about it. You know, you talk about the possibility of a diesel shortage. When last have you heard about a diesel shortage? When last? When last? Loves puts out this little crappy memo on a little computer screen warning truck drivers and dispatch that, you know, there could be a diesel shortage. And I proved that to be wrong immediately. We nipped that in the bud day one. If y'all remember, go look at the video with the truck drivers we were talking to. But no one's talking about it anymore. Nobody's talking about it anymore. And it's not even a problem anymore. When's the last time anybody's even said anything about the how many days of diesel fuel reserve we have left? When's the last time you heard anybody mention anything about a refinery? It's done. It's over with. Now they're bringing the prices back down, and they're going to be like, oh, wow, you know, they brought the price down. It's all about the votes. It's all about the votes. And I hate to say it, but Ron DeSantis, he's talking about sending out stimulus checks to Florida residents, certain Florida residents, after having blasted Biden for stimulus checks causing inflation. And it comes down to votes. It comes down to smoke and mirrors. It comes down to, you know, the Yankees distracting their opponents with the pinstripes. I mean, you got to pay attention, huh?
You got 5 minutes
Oh, I'm running out of time on my video. You got to pay attention to what's going on and realize what the look. Show them the door back there. So the door on the bathroom opens up. Like if you hit too many bumps, like this is van life. This is van life, and you know we got rattles, and you know it's. But if the door opens, you gotta you can either get up and close it, or you can just use gravity. Hey, there you go. Hit the brake a little bit, and the door closed. But either way, I want you guys to be aware. I want you guys to be paying attention. I want you to understand that, you know, hey, look, oh, we were able to return something and keep it and get the money back. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. These are, you know, these are the beginning steps of tumbling down the stairs. And when you get to the bottom, it's going to hurt. It's going to be bad. All right, I got to go. See you guys. Bye.